Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys, on my lovely day off. And today we are back at the house of Amouage. That's right, guys. We're back again at Amouage, one of my favorite houses in the game. And today I will be talking about their latest fragrance that recently, like it's a recent release. Thank God I got the sample real early from one of our friends of the channel, and so I cannot wait to give you guys the full no hype breakdown on this fragrance that I feel a lot of people will enjoy. Let's go. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Okay, liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel as we head towards 25,000 subscribers. So please continue all your support, guys. Deep dive into my over 800 no hype videos. I got a lot of them, guys, and if you have any requests, just comment below. All right, thank you so much for all your support. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than the latest Amouage fragrance for 2025. This is none other than Amouage Decision. Yes, Amouage Decision, guys. Oh my gosh. This fragrance comes in this real clean white bottle right here. And I got intrigued from the get-go. And as you all know, I just reviewed Amouage Purpose, one of their other 2025 releases, and I loved that very much. This one is the latest one, all right? And I believe that there is a femme perfume that goes with this, forgot the name, but this is all part of the Amouage Eternal collection. Now, early reviews state on this fragrance basically say that Amouage is going mainstream with Decision, that this fragrance is a mainstream leaning scent. And that is quite interesting to me because for me, Amouage is a house that I think they don't need to compromise their identity. They're able to put in a lot of the myrrh and incense that they're known for in a lot of their fragrances, and no matter what, even if they don't compromise, the mainstream nevertheless enjoys Amouage fragrances, guys. And it is one of my favorite niche houses in the game for doing so. So that is quite interesting to me that most of the early reviews on Decision says that this fragrance is mainstream leaning. So I want to thank my friend Jared Miller, one of the best decanters in the game, for sending this super fast, super early. And Jared has a lot of decants of all of these latest fragrances that may or may not be available on the market right now. So I will link Jared below, guys, if you would like to order a decant or a sample of Amouage Decision. He's one of the best in the game. Thank you again, Jared. Anyways, today, this morning, you guys are going to get a full breakdown of Amouage Decision. What does it smell like? What's the scent profile? What's it for? What's the performance? I'm gonna give it to you guys. Let's go spray this thing right now. Ooh. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, the latest Amouage fragrance for 2025. This is none other than Decision, starting with this, in my opinion, stellar opening, guys. All right, and right here in the opening, you're gonna get bergamot, you're gonna get lemon, you're gonna get cardamom, pink pepper, and of course the early appearance of that Amouage woody incense. All right, now of course this is the list of the notes, but what does it smell like? All right, now the thing that I couldn't shake off when I smelled this fragrance was the very known, like my scent memory got triggered real quickly, that very well known combination of bergamot, lemon, and pink pepper. And this is a combination that is very much the same as Creed Aventus. All right, yeah, Creed Aventus. And this is that pink pepper, bergamot, lemon combo that you can get in Creed Aventus. All right, so first and foremost, the citrus component in the beginning is very much like Creed Aventus. Now, on top of this Aventus-y intro, you are going to get the backdrop of a mid-level cardamom spice and of course the Amouage woody incense, all right, which is an amazing combination to this mainstream known, mainstream likable Aventus-y bergamot pink pepper intro. And now in this intro, you have the best of both worlds of Aventus and Amouage. You are getting the woody incense and a nice spicy cardamom balancer right behind this citrus intro. And I was just like, damn, this is so awesome. And matter of fact, there is one fragrance, only one in my scent memory, and it's not a, oh, it smells like it, but really it reminded me of that, and that's Oud Immortel by Byredo. And I've always wanted to review that fragrance. I just get busy with all these new perfumes. But the thing about Oud Immortel of Byredo, and I went back to the notes and I was like, look at this. It's exactly the same, right? It's basically limoncello in the backdrop of cardamom and incense. So I don't know if they took a page off of Oud Immortel or if it's the same perfumer, but it's the same backdrop. For those that are thinking, oh, how can bergamot and citrus mix with incense? Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely doable, because the incense itself is not a churchy type incense. It's more of like a woody, smoky incense. And then you have cardamom spice kind of like blend with it. So it's kind of like a spicy mid-tier like spice level right here. And then you have the Aventasy intro really shine bright in this opening right here. So very familiar, almost the same as Oud Immortel. Of course, though, the citrus component is Aventasy in Amouage Decisions, but nevertheless, of course, first impression, I was like, oh, dude, people are gonna like this because of the mainstream lovable part, plus the Amouage part that a lot of people loyal to the house, that's what they enjoy. Now, another thing with this intro is that it's powerful and long lasting. All right, initial sillage and projection, definitely an aura scent. All right, you have that cloud of incense around you, but you also have this very tart bergamot lemon pink pepper combo that stands out, that cuts through that incense spice combo right here. So it's a very strong sillage in the intro right here. And the other thing I will note is the coverage, guys, because as you all know, if we like something, we want more of it, right? We don't want it to go away. In this case, guys, with Amouage Decision, this Aventus intro with Amouage, it's like it's a baby between Aventus and Amouage. This intro lasts quite a while, up to 3 hours of wearing the scent. That's how long this bergamot lemon pink pepper combo goes. And of course, the incense continues on, but it is a beautiful combo. Again, reminded me of the amazingness of Oud Immortel by Byredo. That is what you get right here in the intro of Decision. Okay, now let's head into the mid of Amouage Decision. Now this mid I love as well. You have the woody incense continuing into this mid, but it's also met by juniper berries, and you have myrrh, a very prominent myrrh right here in the mid. Now again, this is a very balanced thing between mainstream lovable and Amouage, because this mid is actually where you get the Amouage part. You get a very beautiful, well blended in sensual myrrh note that goes with the woody incense that starts this fragrance. But then it is balanced with some fresh piney juniper berries, fresh woodsy juniper berries. So we have a nice balance again between the world of Amouage, the Omani incense and myrrh, but then you still have the fresh pininess of that very nice juniper berry note. All right, so it is a lovely mid as well. I mean, to me, I already like the Aventus part. That's not a problem right there. And again, I like that mix a la Oud Immortel. But this mid right here is more of the Amouage part, and I'm really glad that they mixed it with fresh piney juniper berries, because you get woodsiness, fresh woodsiness, balanced with, woody incense and a sensual myrrh. Okay, so I would say that more of like the Amouage house lovers will like this mid of this fragrance as well. It goes kind of gradient sensual in this mid thanks to that myrrh, but still balanced with fresh woodsiness from the juniper berries. I like this mid. Okay guys, now let's go into the dry down of this fragrance, Amouage Decisions, which is a lovely dry down as well. When I first smelled this fragrance, first 2 hours, I texted Jared and I said, yo Jared, this fragrance is going to be a hit. This fragrance is amazing. And the first thing he said was, yo, wait until you get to the dry down. All right. And at that time, I was like, I'm not there yet. But eventually I got there, and he was right. All right. This dry down is pretty amazing as well. But plain and simple, this is another Aventasy dry down. All right. It's an Aventus-like dry down. Right here, you have the notes. You have cedar, you have vanilla, you have patchouli, and you have some slight leather here as well, a la Aventus. And what I can say here is that this is a type of Aventasy dry down that has a strong patchouli component and a strong vanilla component. All right. And if you're the type that looks into Aventus batches and you're into clones that actually modify the latter part of Aventus with a higher vanilla dose, then you will like this right here, because that's exactly what it reminded me of. You know, one of those Aventus batches that are high in vanilla, high in patchouli, and the higher patchouli does make sense with leather because it is the sensual gradient of this fragrance set up by the myrrh in the mid. All right, so it's definitely a more sensual dark patchouli leather backdrop, but with a higher vanilla count, that if you like those types of batches, I think you will enjoy this dry down as well. And of course, here in the dry down, cedar continues on with the woodsiness set up by the woody incense in this dry down. All right, so this dry down, in my opinion, comes in at the 6-hour mark. And the thing about this dry down as well, it's got your typical Amouage performance, which is consistently strong throughout. And that is why I was able to really nitpick these notes and really smell that nice vanilla patchouli dry down here at the end of Amouage Decision. So I would say this is a fragrance that has all stages pretty likable as well. Okay, so what do I think of this fragrance right here, Amouage Decisions? All right, this is gonna be a hit in my opinion, depending on the marketing and of course how viral this gets and how many influencers they pay, I guess. But I feel like this is a fragrance that's a great intro to the house because it has elements of mainstream lovable perfumes, aka Aventus, but it also has a piece of Amouage, which you can enjoy safely with that mix, and that's your myrrh, that's your incense combination that they didn't shy away from. Okay, they didn't compromise and give a full mainstream scent. They did include a nice incense myrrh combination right here that starts from the intro, goes into the mid. So it's a good way to enjoy the Amouage Omani incense. But of course, still, this is gonna be really partly Aventus-y. All right, so fans of Aventus, again, if you wanted to see an incense version of Aventus, this might be it right here. And for those that haven't, smelled Aventus, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go crazy over it because these are the same elements that made Aventus popular. All right, so I think it's a really, really great scent. Usage-wise, guys, this has the same application as Aventus, but because this has some incensey elements, I would say that cooler weather is the nice way to wear this fragrance, to rock this fragrance. Indoor AC environments, guys, as well as, spring nights, spring days where it's kind of cool. Fall, winter, of course, it's an easy, no-brainer to wear this fragrance because you have that added layer of comfort with that woody incense and some spices. So it's a very usable fragrance. I would say AC environments, if you live in hot, humid weather, that's the way to wear this fragrance. And of course, very unisex, but a guy, of course, given that this is Aventus-y, a guy will love this more than anything. This is a grabber right here. Okay, now let's talk about total performance of this fragrance, Amouage Decision. Now, like I said, the intro of this fragrance quite strong, and I wonder if you had the full bottle with a bigger drencher sprayer, you might have to actually dial down your sprays because of the potency of this fragrance. But it is also consistently strong all the way to the dry down and beyond. Total performance over 15 hours, without a doubt. I mean, this one, even with this sprayer, went past 15 hours. So you need not worry about performance issues on this fragrance because it will be strong in the beginning and consistent throughout. It won't die down anytime soon. Okay guys, now let's talk about the price right here of Amouage Decision, and is it a full bottle worthy fragrance? Now this fragrance is $380 in the Amouage website. This is typical Amouage. I mean, if you can't afford this one, then maybe get a sample like I said, or a decant from Jared Miller. But this is typical of a fresh, out of the release date type of Amouage fragrance. And the thing I'm going to say is that it is going to be usable. I said grabber, right? This is a grabber, meaning you might use this more than your other more exotic Amouage fragrances, right? Now, like I said, it's not going to be groundbreaking. It's not going to be as crazy as their other more complex releases that, if you're an Amouage fan, you'll like. This one right here has Oud Immortel properties with Aventus, with the incense. So it's not super groundbreaking, but it is likable. It is usable. It's a grabber, like I said. So I think that if you test this one, get a sample from Jared, and if you liked it, I think a full bottle worthy is not a problem right here for this fragrance Decision. And that is it. That is my no hype review on the latest Amouage fragrance for 2025, Amouage Decision. Again, I do want to thank Jared Miller for sending this over real quickly. I do highly suggest you get a 5 or 10 ml of this very likable fragrance from Jared. I will link him below, his Facebook link, so you guys can order a sample or decant of this fragrance ASAP Rocky. And I guess the early reviews were right, you know. This is a mainstream leaning Amouage fragrance, but I do like the fact that they didn't fully give it away. They still included Amouage elements, the Omani incense and the sensual myrrh, which actually finally developed into that sensual patchouli leather vanilla dry down a la Aventus. Who knew that the myrrh would go into that, right? But they did include Amouage elements into this fragrance as well. I think, like I said, it's going to be a hit, especially for the spring-summer season, but it's an all-year type of fragrance, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think if you've tried this, all right? And I will see you guys on the next video. Can't wait to talk about the next one, which is the latest Parfums de Marly fragrance, Castly. All right, I don't know what Castly means. I'm going to get the sample soon. I'm going to try it soon. I'm going to process it soon. All right, so please continue to like and subscribe, support the channel, get into the affiliate program or order from our, friends of the channel that are helping us out here. And I will see you guys on the next video. God bless, take care. Peace.